Son. Yeah, and I hope my son.
Season, I'm slightly optimistic that things are going to look good for the Philippines in the next 10 years because of those very projects that were laid down by President Aquino in 2015 and continued by President Duterte. And thankfully, what we have under President Bongbong Marcos Jr. is that he's continuing also what was already, got into motion under the two previous presidents. So we have good continuity. We have this continuity between two or three different administrations who are all pushing for this project. So by 2025, we might see the first station of the subway opening up. And by 2028 to 2029, we may see massive infrastructure projects coming on board. So the transformation na we saw with the skyways in Manila, yes, mahal, yes, limitado, but whatever transformation that you felt with the skyways in Manila, times 10 that's what we're gonna feel before the end of 2030. So this is how I do it, mga kamet. As much as I criticize administrations, I lament the current state of the Philippines. I'm cautiously optimistic that thanks to our taxpayers' money, thanks to billions of dollars of investment that has begun over the past 5 to 10 years, and thanks to what President Aquino laid down in 2015, and thanks to President Duterte for continuing it, and now also with BBM, Manila will be closer and closer to the quality of infrastructure that we see in places like Bangkok, Istanbul before the end of the decade. Where I think kulang pa rin tayo is, as I said, we need also administrative reform, decisive administrative reform. And isa dyan is, I hope, no, we will have something like a governor of Manila. Huwag na natin pag-usapan yung mga parliamentarian federalism, medyo malabo yan, mahirap yan, contentious masyado yung constitutional change. But at the very least, sana magkaroon tayo ng something like governor of Manila. And someone really good. No, I mean, if we have mayors like Mayor Magalong in Baguio, if like mayors like Mayor Vico in Pasig, why can't we have a really competent governor in charge of Metro Manila, right? Really, a governor of Metro Manila who can really oversee the transformation. This is, and as I said, the best example I can give you is not Imelda back in the day, but Jokowi in the case of Indonesia, right? Before he became president, he laid down the foundation for projects, and then those projects were continued by his friend and successors. Kaya ngayon, ang laki ng improvement ng Jakarta. Hindi pa rin magandang Jakarta para sa akin, pero kumpara sa 10 years ago, ang laki ng transformation nila. And by the way, speaking of Jakarta, now they have a high-speed railway going all the way to Bandung, parang kanilang Baguio, very beautiful city. And that railway has a 300 kilometers per hour speed, a la Japan, except it's made in China. But Chinese high-speed rails are pretty good, pretty world-class. So I'm happy that their subway is built by Japan. I'm happy that a lot of our big infrastructure projects are built by Japan. But I'm also going to be happy if the Philippines can negotiate a good quality high-speed railway project also with a country like China. And hopefully we build projects with multiple countries, with France, because the French are also very good in terms of developing this, with the Italians in terms of subway, for instance, yung mga wagons at saka mga train technology. So we have to work with many partners, including China, because sa aking palagay, yes, kulela tayo sa rankings in one now, last tie in some bottom five, bottom 10, but that could dramatically change in the next 5 to 10 years. And of course, lastly, but not least, my good news din tayo, there's this very nice report by Nikkei Asia. Legitimate yan, Nikkei Asia. Sila yung mayari ng Financial Times. I'm also an op-ed contributor to them, which is looking at how the Philippines, together with Thailand and Vietnam, are going to be the next phase of massive airport construction projects. So by 2035 to 2040, it's very possible that one of the best airports in the world will actually could be in the Philippines. We're developing not one but multiple world-class airports dito sa greater national capital region, etc. But again, you have to make sure na hindi lang maganda yung airport, konektado yung airport, may high-speed railway ka, pagdating mo sa Manila, matino yung infrastructure. So I really think, to be honest, it's time for us to seriously talk about a governor of Manila and some sort of much more centralized, effective, efficient, long-term oriented. Hindi lang mayor na 2, 3 years lang and then tatakbo presidente, whatever, hindi ganun. Long-term oriented, kind of like Vico Soto, Magalong level quality of governor of Manila, who could be also a presidential at some point, to really coordinate this. Because sa aking palagay, ang laki ng potential ng Manila to be once again the pearl of Asia. We were one of the most beautiful cities in the world. We can become that. And I'm optimistic in the next 10 years, Manila is going to move up from Kulela to somewhere in the middle of the rankings or closer to that. But definitely we can become even better than the middle ranking global cities in the world. On that note, thank you very much mga kameta. Don't worry, I'll share you links, especially yung some of this very legit stuff, including this Nikkei Asia report on airport construction in the Philippines. I'll also send you a link on why I think President Aquino deserves a lot of credit. He was not able to build a lot of infrastructure when he was there because he had to clean up the system, dami corruption. Speaking of corruption, yan, PDAF yan, si Janet Napoles, nakailan, ano na, 160 years ba yung kanyang parusa? 200 million ba yung kanyang ano? Oh. So he had to deal with a lot of fiscal consolidation, with a lot of anti-corruption. So unfortunately, late siya nag-start na infrastructure development. But by negotiating the foundations of subway project, in big infrastructure projects with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in 2015. And salamat kay Digong, salamat kay BBM for continuing this. I think Manila will be in a far better place in 5 to 10 years from now. So please, huwag kayong mabigo, don't give up, at continue to support us. On that note, thank you very much. Pasensya kung sobrang, talagang wala, nakatingin ng mga tao sa akin. No? Yeah. Itong mga weirdo na guy na nagsasalita lang sa sarili. Wala, ganyan. Vlogger na talaga eh. On that note, ayan, malapit na mag-Sabbath day. So have a lovely, good weekend. Have a lovely Sabbath day. And thank you so much, mga kameta, for your continued support and love. And haka ba? Haka? Okay, whatever. Okay, thank you very much for that. Salamat. God bless. Attorney, tara na. Bakit yan si Rufa? Bakit pinangat si Rufa? Si Rufa mukha Rufa Gutierrez. Tara. Wala, sablay kasi. Ang hirap nung ano, yung hawak ka ng dalawang ganun. Wala. Dalawa ba yung hawak? Both YouTube and Facebook. Para hindi sayang. Oo. Kasi awkward naman kung dito ko gawin, di ba? Hindi na, buti kong quiet.